warm welcome. Ram Navami was supposed to be an occasion of celebration across the country. There were celebrations everywhere, but there were pockets where the occasion turned into something unfortunate. One of those pockets was Jawaharlal Nehru University. What really happened? Could it have been avoided? What is the situation right now? The Vice Chancellor of the Jawaharlal Nehru University, Ms. Pandit, is here with me. Ma'am, thank you so much for taking time out and speaking to CNN News 18. I want to begin by asking you, can you just help our viewers understand what exactly are the facts of what happened that day? How did things go out of hand?
As of now, what has happened is, one thing, the administration doesn't run the hostels or the messes. A mess is run by the students. There's a student mess committee and the mess secretary. They decide on everything. We have 17 hostels. In 16 hostels, everything went peacefully, with non-vegetarian also being. Iftar party and Ram Navami Havans went on peacefully. The same thing happened in Kaveri, I'm told, from the warden's report. And by 7 o'clock, they even convinced the students that non-veg is coming in and it's going to be served. In the meantime, I'm told that some group of students, we don't know their identities yet, has stopped this van from coming in.
The meat vendor.
Meat vendor. And the meat vendor also waited for 1.5 hours because the wardens made them wait because they wanted to serve non-veg. See, JNU as a policy does not impose any food choice on any student. It is your personal right and your fundamental right. You can eat what you want depending on where you come or what you want to. So this is very clear. The administration had no role in it. But we, what to say, when 8:30, we are told that some outsiders came and violence took place over a oral disagreement or an argument. This also, we are having 2-3 interpretations. And then this scuffle took place and there were minor injuries to both sides or whatever the sides were involved. And they went to the police and filed a complaint. So there's a police inquiry. The university did not go to the police. The university has instituted a proctoral inquiry after getting all the, reports, fact-finding reports from the wardens. And even the students. We have met all the groups, we have talked to everybody, we have taken this thing and we have instituted a proctoral inquiry which will come out with the facts. It's extremely unfortunate that this should have happened, that too on a Sunday and that too in one hostel. We never expected it to happen, and when we tried to control it, but somehow it seems that it did happen. But after that, I must thank both the students and faculty and everybody for maintaining peace on the campus. There has been no incident after that, and we have told students that you're all JNUites first and then your ideology.
Yes, but that's an important point that you're making, that your initial inquiry seems to suggest the involvement of some outsiders. Is that not problematic? Because even the last time when violence happened in JNU, this is the allegation that floated around, that outsiders came here and thrashed students. Now again, if there is an involvement of somebody who's not from the university, is it not problematic? Is the administration doing something about outsiders' role?
You're right, it's a very good question, and this has been a perennial question. JNU is an open campus. There are many students who get a lot of guests into the campus. There are former students who have not left. And it has been very difficult for the wardens and others to evict them. And many of them come as guests and they don't give their full identities. So this can happen, and there were students from other hostels also who came in. So this is the complaint that has been given by Kaveri students. So now we have to find out. See, problem is we are an open campus. It's so difficult to monitor everything. So we are having some changes that we'll have to do, because we have realized that this was precipitated by other hostel students coming in. So it may have been even pre-planned. We don't know yet. We have to still find out So once I find out and the report comes, we will surely share it with you.
Right. The other thing that, ma'am, I want to ask you, you have a long experience of being in this university, you've passed out of here, you also have academic experience in other parts of the country. You've been in the western part, you're from southern India. I want to ask you about this debate about having religious symbols or religious functions on university and educational institution campus. In South India and Karnataka specifically, we know how it has played out in the context of hijab, and there was a thought process there which the judiciary is upheld, that in educational institution, stick to education, do not have religious symbols or religious functions there. What is your view? Do you think as the Vice Chancellor, you would still want to keep it open, or you would want to restrict religious freedom on campus like the Ram Navami celebrations or the Iftar celebrations that we saw?
See, one thing is, problem is we are a very democratic institution. My philosophy is a panchamrit of democracy, development, dissent, difference and diversity. Because when I came to this university, JNU didn't have any religious festivals were not permitted. Even religious symbols to wear were not permitted. I'm told in the last 20 years, this has been permitted. So it's very difficult for us to stop that now, because people are very sensitive to these identities. As long as it's done peacefully, we have no issue. Okay. Because this identity has become very strong nowadays. So it's very difficult. The administration cannot interfere because the hostels are run both by the students and the wardens. So any rule will be seen as an imposition and as a violation of their democratic rights. So as of now, we are keeping to what has been the practice.
The tradition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not tradition. Tradition in my time, I was here from 85 to 90. No religious symbol or rituals were ever done on JNU, and it was discouraged.
So, ma'am, in this particular case, because the entire controversy seemed to be around the Havan, was administration asked whether we can do the Havan or not? Was an express permission sought? Was a permission given?
I'm told the wardens, the DSW and the wardens in their report, because administration, it doesn't interfere in this.
Any role, okay.
So the Vice Chancellor, the Rector and the administration doesn't know what's happening in each hostel. Because this became a problem, we had to come in. So it is so decentralized. The students decided, and the students agreed that iftar party can take place, then let the Havan also go on. But I am told by a particular group that there were objections only to one of the festivities and not to the other. That is where I am told the whole, argument and conflict came into being. And this was resolved. And on the basis of it, the contention was that the non-vegetarian food will be cooked after the Havan is over. The Havan was completed even before 7. And hence the chicken, vendor who supplies came into supply also. But I believe he was stopped by somebody. We don't even know the identity of who stopped it. Because we are not allowed to keep cameras. Students destroyed all the cameras. So there is no independent evidence except by whose, individual mobile videos. And that can be very dicey because it depends on which side of this thing you are. Right. So we don't have independent evidence yet. We are trying to collect it, and the police is also doing an independent inquiry into it, because we don't want violence again, and food can never be an issue in JNU, as dress is not an issue.
JNU, the students' union here, has said that they were not too happy with the official statement that the administration put out. They also said the mess secretary has been quoted to say that there was no official written word or any GBM that happened which spoke about non-veg not being served on that particular day. Prima facie, can you just tell us what the preliminary inquiry has?
One thing, first of all, there is no JNUSU because no elections have taken place for 2 years. We follow the Linden Dock Committee. They claim to be, but they are not the elected of this year because elections didn't take place. They are representing one ideology, and there is the other people. There is evidence of warden putting up notices. Everything is there. So it is wrong to say.
Putting up notices saying that non-veg food will be served.
Will be served, and the decision with the mess secretary and the mess committee taking. And if you see very clearly, only in Kaveri this problem. If it was, let's say, an administrative decision or a larger decision, then it should have been in all the 17 hostels. In all the other 16 hostels, non-vegetarian was served. Havan and iftar parties went on very peacefully.
In all the universities.
Yeah.
The problem was only in this one hostel.
One hostel. We have 17 hostels in all the other 16. And suddenly violence takes place. After everything was compromised and everything was done, the DSW sent me an SMS at 7 o'clock. I was in Cochin. I was coming in on the flight into Delhi. I landed at 10:40 and then I get a phone call saying violence is... So I straight away drove to the Kaveri hostel. I went and met the students there. Students were quite agitated. And I made it very clear that JNU administration, zero tolerance for violence. And no religion will be discriminated. Either all religions should be allowed to festivities, including Easter. You see, this time we are having a very good, it's really secular. All three religions are at the same time. So allow everybody or allow nobody. And also that the administration is very, very clear that we will not tolerate violence of any kind. Differences can be there, debate, discuss, dissent, argue, agitate, but no violence. So you see, after that, the students and faculty, mainly students, took processions. Both sides took processions and both sides have been peaceful.
You met the students now?
Yes, not once. I've met them several times. From the day I joined, because my concern is that students should be happy. This university runs for students. So I have met everybody because for me they are students. I don't see them with ideology. Because they are JNUites, they have come here. I want their 5 years to be happy, peaceful, fruitful, and they go out and serve the country.
Ma'am, on that note, I have to ask you this. From the time that, JNU Vice Chancellor, you and your predecessor, this university has been labelled as the Tukre Tukre gang. You've seen the labelling that has happened on social media, the way the university is targeted. Now it is almost as if JNU is not known for its academic excellence, but for these conflicts that we see. How do you, as somebody who's passed out of this university, react to this label? And how do you, as a Vice Chancellor, plan to ensure that it's once again spoken about the premier university of the country?
This is very unfortunate because a fringe is defining the identity of JNU and not the majority. I am a product of JNU. I am not a part of any Tukade gang. I am as nationalistic as anybody is, and my faculty, my students are all, we have contributed so much, students to the nation. We are even called the JNU Mafia. They are all nationalistic. So how can you say, I agree that was an unfortunate incident that took place in the earlier term, but that cannot define JNU. That is an aberration. According to me, this violence is something that students should understand, do not resolve issues. It complicates their own careers, it complicates their own opportunities of success outside. So I would appeal to them that intellectually debate. Intellectually, this is the place where we should intellectually fight our battles, not physically. So this is one appeal I make, and I think all my students are with me. Let me tell you, after that incident, I've had no violent incident on the campus.
Do you feel emotional when you see popular Bollywood films portraying JNU faculty as people who are anti-nationals or who provoke students towards a particular ideology?
There have been there, so I would not feel emotional about it. And I think even with faculty and students, the fringe should not define JNU. Jawaharlal Nehru University is for the nation. We are a central university. We are as nationalistic as any other university is. And let me tell you that I hope we don't have any more incidents. I have appealed to students, I have appealed to faculty. They have been very responsive. And see, they are the best who come here. One student is competing with 1 lakh of students. So the best come here. So I say that here you have an institution that has been created by the Indian taxpayer. Make the best benefit out of it and see that you serve back and give back to society.
And how will you ensure that? Because like you said, JNUSU elections have not happened. I think because of the pandemic, elections are due now. It's being speculated that this latest round of violence happened keeping elections in mind. So how will you ensure that peace prevails?
It will prevail because students know if violence prevails, the elections cannot take place. violence is detrimental to their own interests. Not so. I know all students, all groups understand that, and now we have gone in for the national test. So things will get better, and I know that students are very intelligent than even the Vice Chancellor. They will keep their own interests and thing, and I think 90% of the students, you see even in the protest marches, we are 9,000 students. You see the numbers are always below 20 when they come to protest. So it shows that many of them are not interested really. And this, as you said, this identity of tukde goes against the students when they, go out into the world. So that is why I think JNU is a paradise. Enjoy it for 5 years. It's also a delusion where you get things free, and freedom is without responsibility. Outside world, it is not so. So the students also are mature research scholars here, with everyone getting a fellowship, scholarship. Now many of them are well-to-do also, which was not in our time. So I think they should thank themselves and contribute to their own development and their own future.
Would you need the help of police or security forces to conduct the elections, again given the fact that you suspect the role of outsiders?
No. In elections it doesn't take place, and I don't, even in this issue, the administration did not approach the police. So I don't...
But ma'am, that was actually a criticism of the previous administration, that when violence happened, police was standing at the gate of JNU, media was showing that police is there, students were putting on social media bleeding heads, bleeding faces, and police did not intervene. It was a criticism that why did you not allow the police to enter? Your views?
Basically, in my period, I don't find that extreme positions being taken. And I think when we can control, when I know students also, good sense prevails on them, because whenever I speak to them, they're quite sensible despite whatever the politics part of it. And that's only 10% of students. If I'm able to do good work, judge me by my work. If I'm able to do good administrative work, fill up the positions. I've already started the advertisements. We have 300 vacancies of faculty, 700 vacancies of non-teaching staff, and facilities for students. I'm sure all this dissent will melt away, because that's why I say judge me by my performance, and ideologies will not be this thing, and police can never be a solution to student discontent. So my first duty will be not to have any student or faculty discontent.
Is your being a woman an advantage? You've broken the glass ceiling in a way, in multiple ways than one. Being a woman, being a student, like you said, being from southern part of India also. But being a woman, is that an advantage? Do you think students who are agitated, angry, they calm down looking at your motherly face?
Yes, I would say, because all the many, it takes a woman to be 20 times better than a man to reach the same position. So I think we are much more matured, and we have fought more battles, and we are multitaskers. The very fact you're performing a home duty, plus you're working, doing your job and everything, that makes us multitaskers and better. I would only say that our performance and my commitment to JNU as an institution is very strong, because I am a product of this university. Whatever I am today, it's because of this wonderful university and institution, and I would like to, in my own small way, contribute to it getting a better place and a better, public image of JNU. Please don't, my appeal through your channel is to say, please don't go by the fringe minority image of JNU. JNU is for the nation, and as nationalistic as any other university. Intellectuals are always critical, so do take our criticism in a healthy manner.
Has this labeling seen a dip in the quantity and quality of student applications that you get now?
No.
The students are not affected. They still want the JNU.
Know, yes. JNU, see, this is just the upper, what you're judging is the tip of the iceberg, which gets exposed. But below, they know, most of the students know that this is the best place to get to, and the cheapest place where you can get the best education, with the best faculty, and with the best infrastructure. Even though our infrastructure is has to be improved, best library, all best for free electricity and 10 rupees and 20 rupees fees, you will never get it. It's paradise. Come on, let's be very honest about it. And students know it. Students are very smart. When it comes to their interests, they know where they should go. So I believe that the students here are also very sensible, and they also know violence is no answer to any resolution of any issue.
My last two questions, ma'am. Again, because we are speaking about this violence, so I have to ask you this. There are former students of this university who are still languishing in jail. They have been accused of terror charges, accused of fomenting terror. How does that affect the university's image when you are trying to build it as an inclusive university?
See, that can happen. Whenever you're any national experiment or the institution does have certain black sheep, then let us count them as the black sheep, and the law is taking its own course. See, when you make a choice, you have to face the consequences. And those students, whoever they were, made the choices and are facing the consequences. So this is also a lesson to students who are there now here, who must understand that the law of the land is equal to all. So I would rather say that that was a phase. I don't think JNU had such a phase earlier. It was only that phase, and now I see that in JNU, at least I don't see such students. I hope I don't see also.
You faced a lot of personal attacks when you took over. There were personal attacks about your ideology, about your background. Talk us through when you took over in the face of those attacks. There were attacks on your English as well, if I remember correctly.
And that's very unfortunate, because that's the language I speak. See, I think basically coming from the government nominating me, already the ecosystem was against it. See, they broke 3 glass ceilings. The people who speak about women's empowerment never did it. So here you have a government that walked the talk, that made a woman, and I broke 2 major accusations or fake narratives. They said one is the Hindu fascism. I am not Hindi. I am Hindu, but I am from Tamil Nadu, the state that opposes Hindi as the official language. That's why I tell people, when the Hindi speaker people learn Tamil, there will be no language controversy. So that, and the second was Manuvadi. See, my name, my surname confused them. They thought I'm a Maharashtrian Brahmin. My husband is, I am not. I am from the south of the country. My parents had a mixed intercaste marriage in 1955 itself. My father comes from the backward castes. My mother is a Brahmin. So I have a DNA which they can't even imitate. I am born in Leningrad, Russia, now St. Petersburg. So that shocked them. They created my Twitter handle, which was morphed. So it was done with 2 units. Now I have broken even their ideology. So this government has shown the courage to get a woman from the south and also backward classes, and a woman, the first woman, and also an alumni.
Now, you didn't point this out, but ma'am, they also said that you have been appointed to break the last left bastion, to change the core ideology of JNU, and that's what they say, that's why these clashes are happening, because this quote-unquote left bastion is now being challenged.
Agreed, but it is also, please see, the left sees me as also the last opportunity, because I have grown up in JNU. So, see, we are here to unite, we are inclusive, we do not differentiate. If the other side wants to differentiate, and you see my critics, who were they? Male, exclusivist, upper caste males. So, they are against any woman rising. This goes against, they are misogynistic. So, it was very unfortunate. I didn't expect this type of a reaction. And I hope now they have got used to a woman being at the helm of affairs. And there are a lot of women. See, Nirmala Sitharaman is there, who's also our product. So I think they should not have a problem with a woman being at the helm of affairs. And we are here not to break anybody's ideology. See, I believe in the philosophy of Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. You exist, but give me space also to exist. Multiple narratives are a must. This uniformity, I or the highway, doesn't work. Because we are a plural country, we are a diverse country, and we are different. But at the same time, there is a unity. So let us, celebrate it. Why are you so worried what is mine when the other ideology prevailed? Nobody protested. Let me tell you, had I been appointed by the other side, do you think this type of opposition would have come in? So it is very, very unjust. They thought they didn't even give me time to settle down. Do you know that? And it was very, very unfortunate. But I hope I have learnt a lot from it. It has made me more
resilient.
Yes. And I hope all women face such things. I know that. So maybe it's part of me being a woman.
Right. Madam Vice Chancellor, it was such a pleasure speaking to you. That was the Vice Chancellor of the Jawaharlal Nehru University telling us about what preliminary inquiry has told the administration about what led to the Ram Navami violence, what steps are being taken by the admin now, and how the aim is to ensure that the premier status of Jawaharlal Nehru University is once again restored and it is not labelled only as the Tukre Tukre gang. Thanks for watching.